close. Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Monday the 5th of December. So, let me just check my sound's running okay on here. Yep, everything's running okay. Let's get on and have a look at these markets. Before we look at the markets themselves, quick view of potential news events. Let's just go across to the calendar here. Well, today we've got, Lagarde's already been speaking at 1:45 there. So 3 p.m. we've got the ISM Services PMI. May get a bit of movement around that at 3 p.m. But the flash data has already been out, so we'll see. Then we're looking really forward to tomorrow and the rest of the week. We've got two central banks. We've got the Australian Central Bank on Tuesday, early hours of the morning, and then in the afternoon on Wednesday we've got the Bank of Canada. Also got the Australian GDP quarter-on-quarter figures there on Wednesday morning, well, very early morning, UK time 12:30, 30 minutes past. Side of that, inflation later on in the week there on Friday, so we do have sort of some elements that will get things moving, but today relatively quiet then on the news front, which is normally the case after non-farms. And let's have a look then, go through the markets here. We're starting off with the euro dollar. Well, the euro's had a bit of stretched its legs a bit through the Asian session there, but seems to be reversing at the moment, so it's made new near-term highs, but pulling back now. We've got the daily pivot sitting below there, which could be a draw for this quite quickly. It's then really whether it reacts to that, whether we get a reaction to the daily pivot. We've got the 50s already been tested previously. We'll see if we get a reaction and some support off that level. The trend certainly, as we run through, look back at the dailies, is to the upside at the moment, and as I've already said, we're at sort of near-term highs here. Just switch this to a weekly and see. There we go. So it shows us maybe why we're seeing a bit of resistance here. It's the first real test of the 50, the weekly 50 this week. So maybe we have a bit more of a correction, but yeah, looking mostly bullish there. Right, changing through the markets then, the pound. The pound, similar case here. It's ran through overnight. It ran through the previous highs there, and again dipping off at the moment. And again, we've got the weekly pivot, the daily pivot sitting there below. Talking of weekly pivots, yeah, they're quite a drop down now. What I didn't look at what it's like on the weekly here on the pound. Well, it's not far short of its 50. Has tested its 50 once before. Might see that happen again, but a bit short of the 50 at the moment. Dollar yen. Here we are. We'll have a look at the weekly first. Let's move that out of the way. Dollar yen. Well, it's down into its monthly. Monthly S1, bit of support potentially off of that, but really similar inverted version here. Slightly softer looking in a sense. Well, a break of the weekly pivot here would give us a higher low, which would be a bit of a soft signal for the yen. Just looking at the alternative is looking at across the lows here. So my preference would be to be selling on the break of this sort of level. The market starts pushing back down this way, I'm interested, but we'll see what happens. It is a bit of a wedge pattern that we've got occurring. It's not finished, of course. Aussie dollar, with the news coming out later in the week, we might see a bit of softening going on. The outlook is not so bullish in terms of interest rate increases for Australia. Double topped around where we are at the moment, and really not not a great deal happening there, but it's a very similar picture to the euro and the pound really. Daily pivots untouched below. Could well be where we're heading for. US dollar CAD, well, it's been holding quite well. Again, we've seen a bit of a move down through the Asian session here, and we're getting the same old bounce. No doubt there'll be some divergence sitting around these lows. In fact, let's just click on it. I think I might have managed to delete my divergences off my RSI. I have did that. I did that last week. It's very clever of me. Anyway, managed to get rid of that. For now then, bit of a bounce in the short term here. Just looking at, we could, this hourly picture, could find some resistance. It's already clipped its pivot through the mess previously. Just looking, here's an hourly chart. I'm just checking what's going on here. So, well, looking the dollar looking softer against the CAD really there. Okay, that's pretty much a similar-ish picture through most of these markets. Then let's switch markets and run across and have a look at gold first. Just looking at it from a bigger picture, and again, it's been breaking out through the Asian session there, but rolling back, heading back towards its daily and weekly pivots. I'm not so bullish overall on gold. Gold's going up because of the weak US dollar, so I suppose I should be bullish on it, but it's not going up for any other fundamental reason at the moment. It's just purely a inversion, and the weaker, as I say, the weaker US dollar that we've seen. Divergence around the highs here, no doubt. You've got to face it. It is pushing up at this stage, and maybe again support off of the daily pivot may give something later. Oil. I was looking at different oils here. Let's just switch across to a better looking oil chart. There we go. Just looking a little bit cleaner. So seeing a little bit of a pickup, but not a major pickup here. China's sort of relaxed the COVID rules, etc., which would suggest we'll get more production, more oil use, etc. But it's not really having a major effect on the price of oil at the moment. In looking at lower time frames, we've got a lower high coming through there, so certainly not the most bearish looking factor, nor bullish really. I'm just looking bullish as we go through the week, possibly, but OPEC are maintaining production, etc., so it doesn't seem a lot to move it really. Okay, let's switch back to the indices then and have a quick look through the Asian markets first. The CSI 300 gaining again today on the sort of, I mean, last week we heard rumours and there was comments of it. It's sort of been the Chinese relaxation there having a bigger effect here, and we're seeing a continuation to its downside, upside, beg your pardon. Can't work my brain out this morning, but looking positive at the moment. So CSI 300, the Nikkei. So while I'm going down the time frames here, Nikkei still looks relatively iffy where it is, and I mean there's loads of gaps. It's not continuous contract here. This is a daily chart. It's gapped down. It's had a little bounce, but doesn't look the strongest of markets for sure. Whereas the Nifty 50, it's down today, but looking at like one of the most bullish equity markets at this stage. Maybe next day or so, if it does pull back a little bit further, it gives a better opportunity for traders to get in. S&Ps higher lows coming through last, was it Thursday, Friday, not the most of bullish markets, and today hasn't really started that way off either. Just coming down a little bit here and it's quite ugly where it's sitting. There's a real sort of mixed messages in terms of interest rates, and I think it's, well, possibly holding the currency, the equity markets here as well. Just looking at the Dow Jones, pretty similar-ish pattern. There's not too dissimilar, and then even the Nasdaq, same time here, not really going anywhere quickly. Very choppy, so difficult market to trade. The FTSE, a bit more bullish looking, got some potential. I mean, it's taken out these the previous highs there. It's just come out a tad further on here. We're not that far away from the main highs here that we saw earlier as we look through this market. Okay, so I'll come back to that. Just change that back to daily, and then change markets again, and quick look, very quick look at the he says, at the crypto markets. So quick look then, Bitcoin, just checking I've got the right dailies here. It's daily chart, yep. So Bitcoin slowly recovering at the moment. I can see the monthly pivot above there, could well give us opportunities on the sell side, but still very weak to me, these markets. Exception being well, Litecoin's moving about the best of any of the cryptos. I mean, it's certainly stretched its legs further. If we come out to the weekly picture, though, you can see as much as it's stretching its legs further, it's still well down there. Got to put things into perspective. And pretty much I'm just running through here. Most of these markets are in a similar place at the moment in terms of slightly recovering. Nothing's really dashing too far. Maybe some outperforming, as I say, likes of Litecoin outperforming its peers, but all looking pretty soft and wobbly. On that sweet note, I wish you a great day's trading, and I will catch you in the morning. I was going to say on Monday. It is Monday. Catch you in the morning. Take care. Bye for now.